Rob, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. And it seems there hasn't been a lot of great news for wool growers for quite a while. Has anything changed lately?
Oh, Mark, you're right there. There has been very drab for 2 years, I suppose. But just recently, there's been a bit of a currency shift, I guess, and the crossbred market has improved, and that's what the bulk of the wool is in the country. So we want to see a bit more on the pockets for crossbred growers. So it's been a little bit more of late. Some of these really good pre-lamb, shorn, fleece wools out of Southland in particular of late have been keenly sought by the marketplace, and that's been good to see. So we have been a little bit of good news. It's still nowhere near what growers need, I guess, to survive, but it's on the right way. The mid-micron, middle of the road stuff, 27, 28 micron and the finer, that's selling. Merinos are selling very, very well. There's a lot of competition on those at the moment, perhaps on the back of the drought in Australia. Not a lot of wool being grown there, or not good quality. New Zealand wool's very good, so that's being sought after.
And you say the New Zealand dollar, the fact that it's dropped considerably over the last month, so that must be helping, I guess. Yes,
the currency movement, we've come down from something like 70 over about a month ago down to around 65 US, and that does have a major impact. So that's helping, perhaps not on the import side for growers or for farmers on the other side, if they're buying something else in, but certainly for our exports, it's good. Yeah, it's good value.
So who are the major players at present? China still accounting for much of New Zealand wool exports?
Yes, China still playing for all wool types because of a lot of work done with wool in China. And if we look back in the last 12 months or so, Mark, China's taking about 46% of New Zealand wool clip. A lot of that wool stays in China, it's used in China, but also a lot of it is processed to some extent and might move on. Particularly some of the fine wools might be processed and then move on to Europe and other places to be spun into yarn and then made into cloth.
Of course, they got out of the coarse wools, didn't they, in the last year? Some big sort of drop in demand for that. Has that sort of bounced back at all?
Bounced back to a small extent. We've got China probably being overtaken by some of the others. India, for instance, they've taken about 9%. I think the UK takes about 9%. And so there are other competitors out there. There's some other places that the processing is being done, so not just China. But certainly on the coarse wool side of things, the crossbreed thing, yes, they did pull out for quite a while. I'm not sure whether any of these other trade problems with the US and China are going to affect it too much. There has been a bit of talk about that, but we're hoping that's not going to be the case. There are plenty of other players. Our own export company under PG Wrightson, they export to 49 different countries. So there's a lot of wool going in other places other than China.
What about wool growers themselves? Have many been holding on to their wool, perhaps resisting to sell because the prices have been so low?
That has been an issue, Mark. Last year, they decided that they would not take the price that was offered. They sat on their wool. There's some sitting in wool sheds, some in brokers' wool sheds around the country. That's a bit of an issue in my view, because they're compounding the problem to a certain extent. Some of this wool, even though it does keep, it doesn't maintain all of its good properties. And so when that wool comes on the market, it will be substandard and it will be discounted. Now, if there's quite a bit of wool still sitting around to come on the market, then I think it will give us more difficulty. So, as I say, it's compounding a bit of an issue in that crossbred scene particularly. That's the only wool that's really sitting around in any quantity, and it will perhaps hold the marketplace back from any. So I think growers should be selling their wool, filtering it off the market and getting rid of it.
Has there been any sort of reaction? I know about a month ago they suggested that all the polar fleece, that sort of synthetic material, and all the little beads that were going into the environment, and of course wool doesn't have that issue. Can you see that being a good marketing ploy, if you like, or an advantage for wool?
Absolutely, absolutely. With wool being a natural fibre, it does break down easily with very little environmental impact. Then it's got to be a winner. We've been trying to beat this one around for a long, long time, but it's really starting to gain some traction with all of the plastics in the oceans and all the other problems we've got. So it is a good opportunity for wool. I've been in this industry for a long time, and we haven't seen a lot of apps, but this is one that I think is going to be a really good opportunity for young people in particular to get on the bandwagon behind. It's not a bandwagon, of course, because it's realism. And so we need to push that natural fibre and natural environmental behind the wool thing. So yeah, I think you're right there. One of the things you mentioned, polar fleece, which really concerns me. The name fleece as such. If we look it up in the dictionary, it talks about a natural fibre from an animal, and that branding has made a fair impact, and unfortunately it's not doing the environment any good.